For today, we're continuing with our discussion about the hero's journey. And the essential theme of this whole multi-week conversation is that if you will look at your life as though you were a hero in your own life, it is my belief that you will do that life with more confidence, even in the times when things are not going your way, and you will do it with more gusto. And as such, then life will become more alive, and you'll feel the joy of living more, even in the darker times, because you know that the pattern of the hero's journey is a pattern that's been repeated thousands, maybe millions, maybe multiple billions of times. And in that patterning, once we get into it and start to recognize our pattern, we can trust that if we continue on this journey, we will come to a happy conclusion. The hero's journey starts with the call. You're called to be on the journey. And that call may become as a subtle thing, some inkling inside you, or it may be a change in your outer circumstances. And once you accept the call, then there's a certain cycle of events that happens. At some point early on, you cross some threshold in which you can't go back. After you cross the threshold, you move through a series of trials, difficulties in which some you succeed and some you don't, but always you're building a skill and the capacity to understand or to do better on your path. And since your path could be one of awakening, it could be that you begin to be clear about who you really are, or if it's one about success, you begin to add successes or the ability to become successful in the world. Or is it about money and you learn how to invest and how to take losses and not really lose at it? You become more skillful. And so it goes with relationship or whatever. You're becoming more skillful. You're learning to talk with your partners better. You're learning to be emotionally more grounded, that kind of thing. And now we come to the big one. And this is the death of the old self. The death of the old self is what we'll be talking about today. So all these distractions can happen to us. But if we stay on the path, if we continue on that path, it will be something like what Jesus had. You'll have confrontations with your sense of resistance like the Pharisees, or you'll have parts of you that go along with you quite easily like the disciples, or you'll be sometimes cradled and taken care of, and sometimes you'll be cursed. This is the path that we're on. It will not all be bad, and it certainly will not all be good either. We'll have some of these. It is a story that each of us know personally, how we have died to being something so that we could be reborn to something greater. In this process of becoming awake to our true nature, like the Buddha, we will be confronted with our tendencies to identify with the single, separate, small me. And little by little, developing the skill of releasing that attachment to how we are perceived, this will be our small death day after day. The small death of letting go, of needing to be seen as a certain person or needing even to see ourselves as that. And allow ourselves to unfold as a human being in ways that are not limited by what society has taught us is important, or that our childish I wantness would have, or our individual fears. We will begin to live more free. And as we develop that skill of living more free, the next time we find ourselves attached or afraid, it'll be easier for us to let go. You begin to live as a free human being, one in which you recognize that the world is an extension of yourself and you an extension of it. So that as you breathe, the world breathes, and as it breathes, you're breathed. And to know that you are floating in a sea of acceptance and love, and not of living on islands of separation. You begin to dissociate from this smallness, and you begin to associate yourself with the divine as you. And Unity has been a great path for that, as it teaches that this is who you really are, and that if you're on that journey, then you will have trials. And if you're on that journey, there may be times in which you feel you are dissolving. But know that if you're on that journey, it is leading to the good, to the recognition of the good that you already are. That you, like Buddha, like Jesus, are here to awaken to your divine nature. Wherever you are on this path, I hope you do it with vigor and gusto, knowing that this path has been trodden for thousands of years, and billions of people have been on this path. And the pattern that humanity goes through is indeed the pattern you're on. Trust that the world is unfolding as it should. Your life is unfolding, and that as you continue on this journey, all is well.